why, but something about this whole video just makes me laugh thinking about Kash Patel refusing to come off of the plane because he doesn't have an FBI jacket like all the other big boys. Kash, blink like people do. So recently, some accusations, multiple, have come Kash Patel's way. One, he's been using a private plane to fly him and his girlfriend around from concert to concert and from event to event on their date nights. And two, he also got SWAT, FBI SWAT, to be her own personal security. And allegedly, when she was singing the national anthem, he even lost it on them when they kind of observed the area, determined that everything was okay, and then went about their business. They left her high and dry. Kash found out about that and then kind of dug into them for leaving his girlfriend like that, without thinking about the fact that you can't just use SWAT as your own personal bodyguards. You want that kind of detail? Hire your own team. So now he makes an appearance on Fox on Laura Ingram's show to answer for some of these accusations.
Yeah, and Mr. Director, Democrats, and I know you know this, some never Trump Republicans, are salivating over a new report first obtained by the New York Post. Miranda Devine, she came on last night, talked about it, that takes aim at the FBI under your leadership and that of your deputy, Dan Bongino. So you had current, some former FBI staffers, all anonymous, put together this 115-page report. And now there was some very positive stuff in there, but the overall read was that the agency had become rudderless and that you're more focused on your social media than doing your job. Now, I assume that these are just bitter deep staters, but what is your general reaction to these concerns raised about the state of the FBI 10 months into the Trump administration, part two?
Let me just make this very clear. For the most part, no one has mentioned Dan Bongino. Why? Because you treat leadership as in the buck stops with you. So if you're in charge of the FBI, whatever's going on there, right or wrong, it starts and stops with you.
Yeah, look, anonymous sources always lie, results don't. I'll get to the results in a second. These anonymous sources were individuals from the Comey Ray era that weaponized the Department of Justice and cratered the public trust in the FBI to something that was at levels that has never been seen. 35% public trust in the FBI when we came in 10 months ago.
So here's what's being alleged first, then I'll play Kash's explanation afterwards. So right now, some are referring to the FBI as a rudderless ship. Beyond that, they say one damning incident included in the report described Patel on September 11th, the day after conservative podcaster Charlie Kirk was assassinated. While speaking in Utah, Patel flew in to assist the investigation but would not disembark from the plane without an FBI raid jacket. So, this further says, Patel apparently did not have his own FBI raid jacket with him and refused to step from the plane without wearing one, the report said. The report citing a highly respected agent. FBI agents who were working on Kirk's case had to stop and ask around to find an FBI raid jacket, a medium-sized one that would fit, and eventually, Patel was given a jacket belonging to a female agent.
What a loser.
However, according to the report, the FBI director complained that the two areas on the upper sleeves did not have the Velcro patches attached and refused to leave the plane until those areas were patched, prompting agents to remove their own to loan to him. So what this report is basically saying is that Kash threw a tantrum because he didn't have a jacket. Then when they got him a jacket from one of the female officers, he said fine, but then he noticed that he didn't have the Velcro like all the other guys, so he wanted the Velcro. So one guy being, the bigger person, the bigger guy, took his off and then said, here, can we get to work now, please? Now, hearing that this is the explanation that they're going with, realizes that this is a kind of a bad look. Laura Ingram, who also knows that this is also a bad look because it seems childish, immature, and really does look like he threw a tantrum. She gives him a chance to clear this up. So here's his explanation after now you heard the report.
You mentioned the thing about the patches and the gossipy stuff, which I know you laughed it off on Twitter, but on X, but they're saying, oh, he refused to get off the plane in Utah after Charlie Kirk's assassination because he wanted a better fitting FBI raid jacket. Is that true? And does fashion really make the man, Kash?
It's 100% false. As you know, look, Laura, sadly, I was at 9/11 at Ground Zero in New York City on 9/11 because I was a White House representative honoring those victims and their names being read. You are very familiar with that. Then we made the immediate decision after Charlie got shot in the neck to fly to Utah unexpectedly to lead the manhunt to find the perpetrator in less than 33 hours because the FBI cut video, put it out in a press conference, and these people are worried about what I was wearing and what patches I was wearing. I was honoring my men and women at the FBI. One of my agents handed me a jacket and said, "Hey boss, you should probably wear this. We're going into the command center." I said I'd be honored to wear that. And then another one handed me the SWAT team badge of the unit that was protecting the area where Charlie was assassinated. I wore that with pride. These people can talk about my appearances all they want, but look at the results. The FBI, this FBI, my FBI, the one that Dan and I are building here under President Trump, is succeeding in ways that no FBI has ever done so before. So the institutionalists and the anonymous reporters from the swamp D.C. bureaucracy are the ones we are crushing. And that's how I know we're winning. And if Eric Swalwell wants to come online and talk about what jacket size I wear, I'm happy to send him a women's medium so him and Fang Fang can go out again.
Listen, I don't know. Seems the other explanation might actually be plausible, because on such a high-profile situation, I can definitely see him refusing to actually come off the plane, because the moment he steps off, he knows that the cameras are going to start, and he knows that the questions are going to come. He's going to be right there, plastered in front of everyone. So this actually makes sense as to why he would refuse to come off the plane unless he actually looks the part. So then they get into the situation of him now abusing resources in order for him to provide for his girlfriend and take her out on the private plane and provide a security team for her as well. So.
And the Democrats are also, Mr. Director, supposedly going to investigate your use of the FBI jet, because they're claiming you've commandeered it for personal joyrides, going to a wrestling event, I guess, for your girlfriend. Is that true? And if so, you know, if the Biden team did something like that, if it was true, you know, I'd probably be hitting them tonight on television. But I thought I'd give you a chance to respond to that drive-by.
Yeah. It's simple. The FBI director, all FBI directors are required users of the FBI plane. They don't let me fly commercially. But my predecessors wasted millions of dollars because they were too lazy to drive an extra 20 minutes and go to Andrews Air Force Base. They used D.C. Reagan National as their personal hub, costing the taxpayer $4 million. I shut that policy off and mandated the use of government airfields. I've also used the airplane less than my prior two predecessors. And yes, I'm entitled to a personal life just like my other agency had counterparts with their partners. So do I support my girlfriend? Absolutely. And do I take trips with her? Absolutely. But when they're talking about raid jackets and Velcro and FBI plane use, they are not talking about the facts, because they know this FBI is succeeding in ways prior leadership failed.
No one's talking about you having a personal life. All of you guys are allowed to have a personal life. All of you guys are allowed to do whatever it is that you do, whatever it is that you're into when the clock runs out. One, he's not going to try to answer for any of this because we already saw how things happened at the last hearing. And two, probably not the best idea to be using government resources in order to protect your girlfriend because you said that there's threats coming her way. So just want to share that with y'all. Kash allegedly wouldn't step off the plane unless he got what he wanted. That's the accusation. But whatever your thoughts are, leave them in the comment section. If you guys enjoyed this video, don't forget to drop a like, and I will see you again on the next one. Be easy, y'all.